4 people were murdered inside a small wooden cabin in rural California. They were bound, beaten, and killed slowly, while children slept just feet away. But this case isn't remembered for its brutality. It's remembered for what followed. Evidence disappeared. Witnesses were ignored. Confessions were buried. And decades later, law enforcement quietly admitted something terrifying. They didn't fail to solve this case. They chose not to. Keddie, California is the kind of town where silence feels heavy. Surrounded by forest, boxed in by mountains, cut off from the rest of the world. At night, sound travels. A car door, a raised voice, a scream. Cabin 28 sat on the edge of a resort community. Its walls were thin, its windows old, its locks basic. Inside lived Sue Sharp and her children. They had recently moved to Keddie to escape a difficult past. Sue was trying to start over, trying to keep her family together. On April 11th, 1981, Sue invited her son's teenage friend to spend the night. The kids watched television. They talked. They laughed. Nothing felt dangerous. Nothing felt wrong. But sometime after midnight, someone entered Cabin 28, and the silence outside swallowed everything that happened next. Sue Sharp was taken first. She was restrained with medical tape and electrical wire. Not rope, not random materials. Items chosen deliberately. She was beaten with a hammer. Again and again. The force was so extreme that the metal bent. Her injuries showed she was alive during the attack. Conscious. Aware. Her teenage son was nearby. Evidence suggests he witnessed part of what happened to his mother. Imagine that moment. Bound. Helpless. Watching. The killers did not rush. They did not panic. This wasn't a burglary. It wasn't a break-in. It was controlled. Sue's son fought back. The wounds on his hands showed defensive injuries. He struggled. He resisted. But he was overpowered. He was beaten and killed. The visiting teenage boy never stood a chance. He was struck from behind. All 3 victims had their throats slit. Not quickly. Not cleanly. Slowly. And all of this happened while 2 younger children slept in a nearby room. They didn't hear anything. Or if they did, they never woke. That detail still haunts investigators. The next morning, Sue's teenage daughter returned home with a friend. They opened the door to Cabin 28 and walked into a nightmare. Their family lay on the floor, bound, bloodied, unrecognizable. Police later admitted the girls were not immediately removed from the scene. They saw everything. Their lives were permanently changed in seconds, and from the very beginning, mistakes were made. The crime scene wasn't sealed properly. People walked in and out. Evidence was disturbed. The foundation of the investigation collapsed almost immediately. One child was missing, Sue's youngest son. At first, police believed he had been kidnapped. They spoke publicly about a possible abduction, but nothing supported that theory. There were no signs of struggle in his room, no forced entry, no blood. And yet, police delayed searching the area surrounding the cabin. 3 years later, his remains were discovered in a shallow grave not far away. He had been murdered the same night. Why wasn't that area searched immediately? No official answer was ever given. Two men lived extremely close to Cabin 28. Both were violent. Both had criminal histories. Both were known to law enforcement. Multiple witnesses reported suspicious behavior that night. One claimed to hear screams. Another reported seeing one of the men near the cabin. One of the suspects later confessed to the murders. His confession included details that were never released publicly. Police ignored it. Another suspect threatened to sue weeks before the murders. That report vanished. The men were questioned, then quietly released. No charges, no follow-up. Within days, Cabin 28 was cleaned. Blood-stained furniture was removed. Walls were scrubbed. Evidence was discarded. This happened before forensic testing was completed. Years later, police admitted key evidence had been destroyed, including the hammer believed to be the murder weapon. You don't accidentally destroy evidence in a quadruple homicide. You remove it. One suspect gave a detailed confession. He described the order of the murders, the weapons used, the positioning of the bodies. The confession was recorded, and then dismissed. No charges were filed. When investigators later reopened the case, they discovered the confession transcript was missing. Gone. No explanation. Decades later, modern DNA testing confirmed blood at the crime scene belonged to one of the original suspects. This should have changed everything. It didn't. No arrest was made. No press conference held. No explanation given. The confirmation was quietly acknowledged and buried. Cabin 28 was eventually demolished. The building erased. But the truth didn't disappear with it. People in Keddie still avoid talking about the case. Some are afraid. Some are tired. Some know more than they admit. The files remain sealed. Names remain redacted. Families remain without justice. 4 people were murdered in a small wooden cabin. Not by a mystery killer hiding in the dark, but by men whose names were known. This case wasn't lost. It wasn't unsolvable. It was buried. And the most disturbing part isn't what happened inside Cabin 28. It's what happened after. If this story stayed with you, like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Because episode 4 opens a file that was never meant to be reopened. And once you hear it, you won't forget it.